Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Grief, the emotional shitstorm you never signed up for. Today, I am very honored to be joined by my guest, Vicki McDougall Butt. She is here to talk to us around all things grief and what you can hear in the chair. And welcome, Vicki. So before we get started, I want to read all of you her bio so that you understand who Vicki is and why I think it was so important for her to be here today. So sit back, get comfortable. We'll be around for a bit for the conversation. And if you are listening to the conversation today and you feel like someone you know should hear it, please feel free to share today's conversation with them. All right. So Vicki is the founder of VMBEautiful, an inner beauty coach, and the host of the podcast, The Art of Being Unstoppable. Her journey as a stylist, spending nearly 40 years behind the chair, listening, guiding, and supporting women as they navigated all kinds of life changes. Over time, she realized that helping women feel confident and empowered was her true calling. That's when she shifted from styling hair to coaching women through life, and it's been her passion ever since. She's had the privilege of guiding hundreds of women through major transitions, grief, divorce, menopause, career changes, or simply those moments when life feels overwhelming. Pretty sure we've all had those. Her approach blends heart-led support with practical tools so you can reclaim your confidence, show up boldly, and create a life or business that you love. What lights her up the most is helping women find their inner confidence, helping them remember that they are capable, worthy, and ready to shine. She works with women in every stage of life through every challenge, helping them step into their power and become the fullest version of themselves. Life is messy, beautiful, and unpredictable, but you don't have to face it alone. Vicki is here to guide you, cheer you on, and help you build a life where you feel bold, confident, and truly alive. Welcome, Vicki. That is such a
Thank you so much.
beautiful bio. I love reading about all of that.
Thank you. Thanks, Margaret. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. So tell us a little bit more about your experience behind the chair, because I think we've heard like so many people have said, when you get a hairdresser, a doctor, a therapist, you hold on to them, right? Because
Absolutely.
they're the ones who, I don't know, there's something about sitting in a hairstylist chair
Mhm.
where you just feel like you can tell them anything.
Absolutely. And I think it's the human touch too, right? When you're
Mhm.
sitting in the chair, we're making you feel good about yourself. You're seeing the transition, you're feeling confident and you share. I mean, I remember hearing things from my clients before they told their husbands or significant others or family,
Yes.
and what was said in the stylist chair was kept in the stylist chair. And I believe that that's important too.
Mhm.
But it really helped me. Not did I just get to help women and men, but it really helped me too because opening up and being honest and raw and vulnerable with the clients that were really close to me, because I
Mhm.
sometimes saw my clients every 2, 3, or 4 weeks,
Mhm.
right? Like for those who were professionals, a lot of them would come in, they didn't want any gray to show or right? They liked their hair done, and some women came in once a week for a set. So I learned about every aspect about their life. But they also knew a lot about me,
Mhm.
which was it was therapeutic for me too because I got to share where I was coming from and the lows and the highs and the hard times and the because and all the shit in between because
Mhm.
that's what I always say on my podcast, like it isn't just it is that messy middle, and people
Mhm.
seem to forget that sometimes, that we put on a brave face, we go to work every day. um but I went through a divorce. I had my oldest son went through addiction, and I had to leave and go to work and put on that face regardless of what was going on at home. And we never know, but when someone finds somebody that they can share that with,
Mhm.
or you can share that with, it's a bond that is just incredible. And I couldn't have gotten through my career in hair without having it shared with those people.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that because when you're creating the connection with people, And that's something I share with my clients all the time is you have to feel comfortable with the person you're
Mhm.
talking to.
Yeah.
And you're right. I love how you said, well, we're making you feel better. Well, you're releasing all these great endorphins and these feel good, and
Yes.
you feel like you're getting pampered, which does relax you, which is also a really important piece when people are going through difficult times. They're going through grief or divorce or menopause, even. Like, think you and I are both within that age group where we're so
Yes.
many women we know are going through this, and it's a big change. And having someone that you can share that with, someone who you can commiserate with, someone who understands and gives you that safe space to talk, it's so important. So,
It
so
is.
important.
I really think too, when you were saying like that connection that we get, like, and the relaxing time, a lot
Mhm.
of women work, 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 right? They're coming in from work, or maybe they're coming on their lunch, and they sit down, you're doing their hair, and then they know that, okay, I have to get home, I have to make dinner, and then I have a baseball game or a hockey game or whatever, right? Their
Mhm.
schedules. This may be the only time of day that they actually get to sit and be just them for that hour, for that 45 minutes, for that 2 hours, whatever their appointment is. That is their only time,
Mhm.
right? Because they have a jam-packed schedule all the time. And then what I came to realize that I did that for 30 years, nonstop, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, go, 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 until you can't do it anymore, until your body is saying, you need to listen to me. I'm
Mhm.
trying to tell you something and you're not listening because we have that hat on at work. We're wearing that hat. And then as soon as we leave work, we take that hat off and we put on the wife hat or the mom hat or the friend hat or whatever it
Mhm.
is that we're using. And we lose ourselves in all of that.
Mhm. Yes.
And there's grief in that as well. There's grief in the loss of who you choose to be, as well as when you lose somebody or you go through a divorce, or that grief is there. You're still going through the same emotions and the same feelings as it is when you've lost a loved one,
Mhm.
right? Or when I got sick, I realized I'm grieving. That was the only person I knew I was. I was a stylist. I was a
Mhm.
good stylist. I had a great clientele. I was that person, and then I wasn't.
Mhm. So tell me and tell the people listening a little bit more about that journey of realizing that you weren't that same person, because so many women that I work with have that same realization. So can you walk us through a little bit about how you worked through that and got to the other side?
I have been lucky in my life to have a really good support system. I had my parents, I have my kids, but my third child, she was away at college. She was in a different city going to college. So that how it affected her as well. And I see that like each one of my children, how it affected them. But I've always been the taker care of everyone.
Mhm.
So when I was going through my cancer, I was still worrying about each one of my kids and how they were dealing with it, how my parents were, how my friends were, how my husband was. That didn't stop.
Mhm.
And that is the truth. Like I got through it and I did. And I had a great support system and I did everything I could possibly do to get through it, but I lost pieces of me during that
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And then COVID happened.
Oh.
And then the world shut down, right? So then there was still losing myself and wondering, okay, now who am I? I can't go to work. I can't be, right? So it just seems to, at some times we feel like it was one thing after another.
Mhm.
And then now when I look back, because I'm more educated and I'm more aware, because when I lost my parents in 2021, from 2017 to 2021, I was floating. I was doing things that I hadn't done before. I was working for a company. It was
Mhm.
my first time in my life I'd gotten a paycheck on a regular basis because I've
Mhm.
always been an entrepreneur. And then I lost both of my parents within 2 months of each other.
Mhm.
Neither were that sick to have to lose them. And now it was all on me again. I was the strong one. I was the only child. I had to take care of everything. I took it on like this badge of honor.
Mm-hmm.
until I broke, until I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about that.
I found myself sitting in my family home that I'd grown up in, that I had spent, my entire life in, my grandkids, the memories, the
Mm-hmm.
everything in that house by myself with the Christmas decorations still up because my mom died in the very end of November and she had already decorated her home for Christmas. And it was now March and I'm knowing like I have to wind down the business. I have to sell the building. I have to close the business. I have to wind down my parents. I can't continue going back and forth from city to city to take care of
Mm-hmm.
everything because I'm finding it harder and harder and harder. I'm stuffing my emotions. I'm not sleeping. I'm, not choosing me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend of mine said, "You need help. You need some support." And I said, "Oh, yeah, 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 sure. Who has time for that? I'm running back and forth." She said, "Vicki, you need some support." And I reached out to a coach, a mutual friend that she had, and I literally cried for the first 3 months
Mm-hmm.
of our sessions. That's all I did was cry and cry and cry and cry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized when she asked me this one question and it changed my whole way of thinking was, well, who do you choose to be?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I don't understand what you mean. I'm a mom. I'm the daughter. I'm the take care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, 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 that's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you what you do and how you do it and who you do it for. And, you're a stylist and you're this and you're all of these things, but who do you choose to be? And I had no idea, none. And I looked at myself and I did a lot of soul searching and I did a lot of personal growth and started really getting to down deep in what does that even mean to a woman who's always been the one that's strong and you wear it like a badge of honor and people say to you all the time, I don't know how you do this. And you're like, oh, it's ease, like whatever, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
not.
Oh
It's
no.
hard. It's heartbreaking. It's
Mm-hmm.
devastating. It's all of those things. And then some. And then when I got clear on who I get to be, it changed me. It changed me because I got to see me in the mirror now, me, not the hairdresser, not the daughter or the wife or the mom. I got to see
Mm-hmm.
just Vicki standing there and appreciating what I have gone through and really seeing and allowing myself to go through it all. And I mean, that is hard in itself, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
We know that when you start to define that for yourself and you start to change and shift, you go, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. And you beat yourself up, you've made mistakes. And then I just really worked on it. And it's been, again, 2021, my parents passed. So it was the beginning of 2022. And now we're into 2026 and it's still a journey. But
Mm-hmm.
I take it on with velocity because I can see the difference that I make by sharing my story
Mm-hmm.
with other women. And I see the ripple effect in my own life with my friends, my children, my grandchildren. And the grief is comes up. It's not like it goes away. But now I know how to deal with it because I've got the tools and because
Mm-hmm.
I have the support of people like yourself, a coach, someone I can go to, um, and other women telling their stories and hearing a little bit of normalcy because it's like, oh, really? You went through that too? Oh my goodness. Not
Mm-hmm.
that you're happy that someone else had to endure it, but you realize that you're not alone anymore.
Yeah. I think isn't that like the best thing ever to know that you're not alone?
Yes.
So many of us go through feeling like we're alone. It and when we're experiencing our grief, we are experiencing it alone. Like even if
Yes.
we're in a family and we're all experiencing the same loss, how we feel is unique to us.
Mhm.
How we move through it can feel very lonely because no one can ever truly understand and know how we're feeling. We
That's
can
right.
try and explain it, but it's not the same.
No.
One of the things that you said that caught my ear was that you didn't think you needed support. You're like, I can do all of it. I am the strong one. I've been all of this, right? That's a resistance that I find with a lot of my clients too. Before they're my clients, they didn't think they needed support either. And then there's this turning point of, oh, okay, maybe I do. But for some of them, it's how do I allow that support not to feel like a weakness? Did you have that mindset at all?
Most likely. I think that that was
Mm-hmm.
underneath, all of that because, you know, I like, I don't like people to ever say, I lost my power
Mm,
because your power is never lost.
mm-hmm.
Your power is in there. But can it be covered up by the layers of shit that we go
Mm-hmm.
through in our lives, the things that have happened to us? Maybe it was somebody said something to me when I was 7 years old, or you know my divorce, my all of those things, and then it just gets pushed down, pushed down, pushed down,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it's like it's there, it's there. And so when i when I finally reached out to my coach, and she said to me, you're not broken. You are perfect, whole, and complete exactly how you are.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, really?
I,
I'm not? Because I felt like I was. I felt like this was, I guess it felt like a weakness. I just felt like I was broken and I didn't know how to repair it anymore.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to ask my husband, and I didn't want to ask my kids, and I didn't want to put this burden on anybody else. Because at the end of the day, when we go through that loss, right? The
Mm-hmm.
first few weeks, people are bringing you casseroles and they're bringing, you're helping,
Yep.
and they are, but their life goes on pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't, when someone says, let me know if I can do anything for you, I'm not letting you know because I don't feel like me asking is possible for me. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
most people feel that way. And it's, and so we just do it now. I've realized that I don't ask, I just drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a casserole, or here's some flowers, or because no one wants to ask. We're
Mm-hmm.
all proud,
Mm-hmm. And
but
that's
asking doesn't
exactly
make it
it.
a weakness.
No, not at all. It's
Mm,
so true. Oh, what you just said is just so true. We don't ask. And part of it is we don't even know what to ask for. You're
that's
in the
right.
depths of it, and people say, how can I help? I, I have no idea. I don't even know where to start. I'm trying to get my brain to work. It's very foggy. I can't think straight. My emotions are right here. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, take the garbage out. I don't, but then I don't want to ask you to do that either. Like, it's just,
Right?
and the
It's so true.
it is. It's very true. And I don't think our society actually teaches us enough about how to support people effectively
Mm-mm,
in grief. And that's
mm-mm.
kind of my mission right now in getting the
Yeah,
podcast out and doing the workshops and the retreats and things. Thank you so much for sharing your story, because I don't think you're alone in that story at all, even though it
no.
felt very alone going
Mhm.
through it. And
Yeah,
the more women get together and we talk about it and we share our experiences, it's
yeah,
so, so important, especially those of us who are those high achieving, pursue perfection, got it all together under,
yeah,
like, we got it going, to
yeah.
be that person who crumbles internally, right? We feel
Mhm.
it, but we don't show it. Ooh,
Mm-mm.
no, we don't show it.
No,
It's
it,
so,
it,
so
it
important.
it is. And I think too, when you start to realize that,
Hmm.
it's like this awakening, because and then you
Hmm.
can go back and you can repair the things that have happened before
Hmm.
to help you move forward even more.
Yeah.
And it's not as hard then because you're understanding it in a different, and it's not a failure. It's
Mm-mm.
just what happened. It's not, and then you can release that story around it and make everybody else wrong because you can see where it comes from in here too.
Hmm.
And it took me, even after all of the personal development and the coaching and it wasn't until like late last year where I went on a trip with a friend and we were just present. And that was our main concern, was just be present and nothing. We didn't plan a lot. We were heading to Florida, but we had 2 weeks and we did all these things and there was nothing, one thing that set out that was different, or it was just being present. And I got to
Mm-hmm.
listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
got to get in touch with Vicki, that person that has been healing and that person that has been growing and discovering all of these new things about her. And we became one. And now
Mm.
that alignment has been just overwhelmingly beautiful for myself because I've never felt it before, even in hair. And I love doing hair and I love making you feel good when I do hair. Like I love that. But this is even stronger. So
Mm-hmm.
out of that grief, out of that hell that I felt like I was in, I think that it actually allowed me to see what was possible in my own life,
Mm-hmm.
despite the hard, and despite the I still cry.
Mm-hmm.
I could cry right now because some moments I just feel them, or I hear what my dad might say, or that laugh, or any of that. But I want to feel that. I want to be present in that now.
Mm-hmm.
Before I couldn't, because then it would be like, oh my God, I'm a mess. Now I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a mess. I'm just feeling it and I'm allowing myself to feel it.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Riding those emotional waves is also part of the healing journey, isn't it?
It
Allowing
is.
those feelings to
Yeah.
be there. Because when you allow them in, they don't take over, they don't pile up again, and you don't have that big explosion. It's like you might have like a 5-10 minutes, maybe half a day where you feel like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
feeling sad or I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling. But if you allow yourself to ride through it, and I love that you do that, it just it honors the feelings that you have, which are extremely valid. Just because the event's over doesn't mean you stop feeling, right?
No.
And as you move forward and start doing different things, becoming this new person, right? Integrating Vicki into Vicki and taking those steps forward, you can think about how proud they would be of you, right?
Yeah.
And you can still be sad that they're not here to see that. And like I know with my son, I lost him over 17 years ago. There are still days where I get teary, and but it's not all consuming anymore. It was at the
No.
beginning, but now it's like, okay, yeah, I miss him. I miss what could have been. And you
Yeah.
allow yourself to ride through those feelings. And it's so important. So thank you for sharing that process too. My goodness. Okay. So then you transitioned from being a stylist. You went through all this craziness, um, big emotional, deep personal growth. Tell us where you've landed now and what you're doing.
So I coach, I do one-on-one, and I also do group coaching. It's all inner beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that that's where we shine, is once we see what's possible for ourselves. But in the last few months, I've decided, and this is where the alignment has come in, because that inner beauty has now brought me to doing podcasts with women who have had stories that they want to share, whether that is a new adventure that they've created, a new business, whether that is navigating through divorce or grief or menopause, or I want women to realize that they are not alone, that every single woman has a story, and I want them to have a platform to share that story, to empower and support other women, because I believe that we can change the world one woman at a time. We get to create who we choose to be, despite whatever we've lived, because we have the power within us. We all do. So that unstoppable isn't, oh, I'm unstoppable, nothing bad happens. And that's not what that's about. Unstoppable is the process of becoming that version of yourself that
Mm.
you choose to be, overcoming the obstacles, but getting through it and seeing yourself in the mirror like I did and said, you know what, you're not that bad. You can do this regardless of anything. And when I talk to women, much like yourself, the connection, whether it's on the camera, whether it's one on, like, face to face, there's an energy there that doesn't lie.
Mhm.
And someone's going to hear this podcast and say, I went through that. And she gave me one little nugget
Mhm.
that made me handle today a little bit easier. Or maybe I can reach out. And I always say that on my podcast. If I'm not the coach for you, that's okay. But I can promise you, I would help you find someone that will fit,
Mhm.
because it's not about that. We can collaborate. You and I
Yep.
can collaborate. I can collaborate with every woman that I speak to, because if we can do that globally, there's nothing that isn't attainable. We can make anything possible.
Oh, I've got chills from literally head to toe. I love that. So beautiful. And
Thank
I
you.
I love that approach too. It's like, if I'm not the one for you, let me find you someone who is, because the goal isn't to always be that one person for somebody. It's to help them find that person. And if we're a great match, great. I do that with my clients too. That's why we have discovery calls, right? Are we a good fit? Or are we not
Yes.
a good fit?
Yes.
If we're not a good fit, you're not going to open up as much as you're going to need to
Mhm.
heal. You're not going to
Mhm.
benefit from the coaching relationship as much as you could. So
That's right.
yes. So take it, if you're taking anything away from this today, make sure that
Yes.
whoever you choose to get support from, you fit with.
And it's okay, and it's not an ego thing. Like, my
No.
ego is gone. Like, I check that at the door. It has nothing to do with ego. It's not about the fame and the fortune or the this. It is about exactly what I said. You and I can get our messages out there, and we can share these stories with people so that they can see that they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we can make a difference. I don't want to just sit here. I mean, yes, I'm can probably retire soon, and I'm like, no, this is just all ramping up now. I don't want that. I want to keep going. I have so much more to do. And that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you can feel it too in the energy that you're bringing to today's call. I can feel it.
Thank
It's
you.
so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I think
Thank
that
you.
there's so many women out there who are going to benefit from working with you and being part of that energy and part of that wisdom and experience that you're bringing to the table, so that they can feel seen and understood and have that space to be. So thank you so much, Vicki, for all that you're doing and all that
Thank
you're
you.
bringing to the world right now. I have truly enjoyed today's conversation, and I'm sure you and I could sit and talk for hours. In fact,
Yes.
we have, we have,
Absolutely.
and we can continue to do that. And
Absolutely. We could.
so, is there any last pieces of advice or anything that you'd want to share before we sign off for today?
The only thing that I would love, if you take, like you said earlier, only one thing away from today's conversation, is know that you aren't broken. You are perfect, whole, and complete.
Mm.
And you have that power within you, and you get to be anything you choose to be.
Oh,
Anything.
yes. Well, that's the best message. That is the best message. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
thank
Margaret.
you. Yeah, and thank you so much for being here today. And for those of you listening, as mentioned before, if today's episode resonated with you, please share it with anybody else who you feel needs to hear this message. And if you're interested in connecting with Vicki, I will be putting all of her contact information in the show notes. My information is there as well. Feel free to reach out to either one of us. And we're both here, happy to support you in your journey of healing and coming back to yourself. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I will look forward to seeing you next time on Grief, the emotional shitstorm you never signed up for.